about that time. Assemble and talk. No cap. It's a civil war. You thinking you worthy. You feeling like door. Smash that like button like Hawk, yeah. Alright, welcome back everybody. We're here once again. It's Sluggy. I'm assembled alone this time. This is midweek though, so that's why Marvel dropped the Ms.Marvel trailer. Sorry about that. And we just had to talk about it. I had to talk about it. So I'm gonna have my homie call in, a friend of the pod, Jay, and he just told me he's ready. So smash that like button like Hawk, subscribe, and it's the road to 100. Help us get to 100 followers. Then it's the highway to 1,000 subscribers. So help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Please subscribe. Yo, you hear me?
Yo, what's up, bro?
It's good, bro. It's been a while. How's everything?
I'm suffering with work and life.
I feel you did, man. I hear that.
You know how it is. Always working.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best right there. Keep yourself busy.
Yeah, I love all that. I don't like work.
Nah, who does, right? It's never work if you fall in love with what you do. So those are the only people that don't, right? But besides that, work is good.
Yo, where's this guy?
Who's that?
What's his name? The one that you deal with all the time now?
Oh, my bro A?
Yeah, the one that be arguing.
He's a bit, I don't know. He's actually busy right now, but I mean he must be busy because usually he hits me back off rip, and he hasn't picked up his phone. So I'm even thinking maybe he's sleeping or something. Shout out to A. But I know if he sees this or if he sees my message, he'll definitely call in. I kind of wanted to have him in here too, but Yo, so you saw the trailer, right?
I did this morning.
I seen it late. I seen it in the afternoon when I woke up. I broke night last night. You liked it?
What you thought of it? What you thought of it first?
What I thought of it first, honestly speaking, it got me really, really excited because two reasons. The first reason being that I'm actually a Ms.Marvel fan, right? I like Ms. Marvel. Like it's I was saying earlier, like I played with her in the she's the main character in the Assembles game, right? The Adventures game or whatever. And she's a dope character to me. Especially I like the fact that she's young and everything. Like I love all of that. That she looks up to Captain Marvel. So I'm already a fan of her. That's what I'm trying to say. So I did have some slight like not biasness, but like going into it, I was really excited for it. But to see a whole trailer for her, it got me really excited because like I don't know, it gives me a vibe it gave me a Peter Parker vibe before a girl.
Yeah, 'cause she in high school and shit.
Yeah, and then
I thought the actors looked a little too old.
all the actors,
I think they look a little too old.
like even her,
Yeah, I think they all look a little too.
a little bit too.
Not even high school, it's like college.
Yeah, it did. I mean, besides her, the other people I can agree with that, but I think she looks a pretty young age. Like she looks strikingly like 14 or some shit like that, 15.
I don't know.
Nah, you say like what, 17, 18?
Nah, I think she looks. I don't know, man. They gotta stop getting old people to play young roles, bro. Like that be getting really tight. They be getting like. I don't know how hard is it just to find some like
Kids?
teenage actors.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess it is. I guess it's hard when you're really trying to get like something specific, right? Like a certain look, a certain height, a certain character, right? Like a certain. And when you're younger, I guess it's harder to find good young actors.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that's
Right?
really hard.
Because you gotta look at like in WandaVision, her kids in it, and they're I think they're young. They look. Well, I don't know what their age was in like the comics and stuff, but they was pretty young in here. Like I ain't gonna lie, it was like around like 8 to 10 or 11.
Yeah, but I agree. Like I don't know, like Stranger Things like did it, and then they used to do it. They used to do it a lot more, like in the 90s when they had Home Alone, Three
Yeah.
Ninjas, and they had all these big budget movies, and they were like for like Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, just throw the little niggas in there.
Do you think it has something to do with just like agencies and like people's personal agents and not getting kids out there as much as they did before?
realize it, but I was even watching like Moesha, and like all them niggas are mad old to be playing high school students and shit. So,
It was funny you say that, 'cause I used to watch that. That's funny.
yeah, and it was, I know it was weird, man. Like I liked it though. I liked in the trailer how they recreated. They used scenes and they recreated like iconic covers.
Yo, I peeped that, and I seen the side by side cover of her at the last shot of the trailer when she's sitting on the light pole looking at the city, and I thought that was dope. And then I seen the side by side of the actual comic book cover and the shot at the end of the trailer, and I'm like, oh, that's so dope, because they nailed it. They did it to a T. Like her what do you call it? Her ribbons are both like the same. I don't know. It's perfectly. Everything is the same way it is in the comic. Like they really bodied that.
I noticed they changed her powers.
That's what I was gonna get at too. All right, going into it, because when I first woke up, I didn't see it, but my brother was like, he's like, yo, you seen it? I'm like, oh, no, yeah, I'm about to watch it right now. He's like, yo, yeah. He's like, yeah, they kind of like changed her powers, but like it's still the same. He's like, you'll see what I mean, like. So I'm like, all right. So immediately I'm thinking, damn, I thought that was so dope with her being like Mr. Fantastic. But when I seen how they did it, it actually didn't rub me the wrong way.
No, it didn't rub me the wrong way either. But it was unnecessary for me to change it up. But they didn't need to do it, but it worked. So whatever.
Yeah. Well, we got to see if it actually works. It looks like it works, but we got to see how it plays out, right? It looks so far like it's good.
Sure it's gonna be like some Green Lantern shit, but with like stretchy.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a mixture between Captain Marvel's powers and Spectrum.
Yeah.
It looks like, well, the way they represented her in WandaVision, I mean.
I never saw one.
I know, I figured that. That's why I said it. Her name's Spectrum, but she's right. Spectrum is Monica Rambeau, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I know who Monica Rambeau is.
if you ever get to catch her, just go to YouTube and just look at the clips of her from WandaVision. You'll see how her powers look, and it kind of looks like that mixed with. It looks honestly a little bit like the like from Doctor Strange trailer, right?
Yeah.
But more like.
Good.
But more like you said, with like the Green Lantern projection, like she can shape it and do what she wants with it.
I was reading the comments, and then like a lot of people were like, "Oh, like she was a Mr. Fantastic ripoff." I'm like what? I'm like, Mr. Fantastic is a ripoff of DC characters. Like,
Yeah, that's a thin line.
For nothing, bro.
That's a thin line for people to say, because if you're not for sure if that's the original version, you might be mad wrong, right? Like. People be like you just mentioned, like it's always the original person, because DC and Marvel at that time will always rip off with each other. So clearly, I think that's why they switched it up, though. I think they don't want to step on Mr. Fantastic's toes, being the fact that they're bringing him in very soon.
That's actually a good. Because if they changing her up like a lot, that probably means he must be coming like soon, like.
Exactly, and they announced it. Like Kevin Feige announced him like that they're coming out with the movie. He just didn't give nothing else behind it, like no directors, no nothing. Well, actually, he did give the director. I'm lying. He gave John Watts as the director, the person that did all the Spider-Man trilogy for the MCU. So that's the only thing he gave behind it. But he didn't give nothing else of like when it's dropping. He just said soon in phase 5. So
the last time I heard, there was an actor, Mads Mikkelsen. He auditioned for Mr. Fantastic.
oh, like in recent times.
Like this was like a year ago. He was talking about it. So he auditioned for the part. So I'm gonna assume that they already got everybody.
Yeah.
They're just waiting to announce it.
Yo, you can see the comments on here.
What?
You can see the.
Said, how can you have Ms.Marvel and Deadpool and Infinity Saga and Daredevil? That's an interesting one, right? Because how you gonna have Daredevil? I'm not Daredevil. Deadpool in here when he's supposed to be like. They said that they're gonna make it rated R. So I don't know how they gonna work.
Yeah, and I see his question. What I mean by that, like, what's the audience like that they're reaching at this point, right? Like, who they're catering to? If you think about it, because like,
I don't know.
Disney's Disney. Everybody knows that's like friendliest out of friendly. So I heard something online that other channels talk about that they might go extra harder with their parental guidance codes, like like the restrictions. Sorry for
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that makes more sense instead of just like coming out with a side section that's like rated Disney rated R, like or Disney R instead of Disney Plus. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah. I think that
they can
I
both
would
work
say
though.
like they can just break the fourth wall. Like anytime Deadpool says a curse,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, oh nah, I'm on Disney right now. I can't say anything, or they just bleep it out, or
But the
I think
cursing,
that
I don't think the cursing is too much of the problem because you could dumb that down and still make it work. It's really
no, you
the
can bleep it out and still
it's
make
really
it fun.
the I guess like the gore of Deadpool, right? Like how bloody and how because Disney don't show blood. The
They
most
don't
blood
even use guns like that.
exactly the most blood they ever showed was in Endgame when Hawkeye was Ronin and he cut the guy's throat and it was just coming from the bottom of his hands the blood like you didn't even see the
And the
wound.
most and the most guns they ever used was in Spider-Man when the Vultures people when they had like the guns in the Homecoming. That was the most I've ever seen, and they wasn't use
Right.
like energy guns.
Exactly, and they took a risk with nigga Vulture pulled out a real gun on Peter Parker.
Oh yeah, yeah, that too.
They took
That
a
too.
risk with that, like so. But they ain't fire it or nothing, and they showed guns before. They showed nigga Shield used guns, machine guns. So that's you can show
In the
guns.
Iron Man movie, right? The first one, I feel like they showed guns.
Yeah, definitely a lot. You're right. So that's the thing they can do. But Deadpool's is just the way he goes about how he kills, and the way that's what made his movie success. Is like how are y'all gonna make this work? So I understand the bro's question right
And then
here.
even Daredevil, right? Because with Daredevil, you gotta they were saying that Daredevil they were gonna do like they were gonna do PG-13,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody was mad like, oh, I wanted it rated R, blah blah. And I'm like, bro, like you don't need a rated R Daredevil. Like it's not that serious, bro. Like it was Netflix.
Yo, look,
They needed
was Batman rated R?
no.
Exactly.
It was PG-13.
And they
Like,
made it work.
sometimes I feel like they like all rated R means is that you can curse and have sex,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like
Mm-hmm. And you could chop people's heads off because you can't do that in PG-13 at all. That's like one of the main like.
yeah, but
Oh, what about Punisher? He says.
Punisher, that's gonna be difficult because there's no way around that. You gotta make it rated R.
Yeah.
And I was actually, you know what? I'll save that for another discussion, like towards the end, like.
Yeah. We can spin back around about that because I don't know if we talked about before. Did we ever speak about his new logo? Me and you?
No, we didn't. I liked it. Like I didn't like it, but okay. So his new logo for me was like I didn't care for it. Like I wasn't angry. I was like, oh, I like it, and I wasn't like, oh, like this is the. But I seen mad people online like they were pissed, and I'm like, what are y'all niggas pissed about, bro? Like,
Yeah.
Like the comic was
I only-
dead. What?
No, sorry. What I was gonna say is I only didn't like one thing about the new logo. I just didn't like. No, I like the horns. I didn't like the mustache.
Oh.
Cause now it makes it look like I don't know how this is gonna sound like, and I don't mean no way by this, no harm by this, but it looks redneckish, right? Like I don't know, it looks right. It does, and I don't mean no way by that, right? Like it just looks like I don't know. It looks like what are y'all going with this? Like I don't know.
But I got the comic here somewhere. I gotta find it.
Okay.
Hold on, because you're right. It does look rednecky. I'm looking for it right now. Hold on. I got the. Here we go. But the cover I picked, it don't got the I think this.
Oh, it don't got the new cover, the new logo on it, right?
Yeah, it don't got the new logo on it, but the new logo is.
Yeah, I'll pop it up on the screen here for people. For a second.
Hold on. This the new logo right here. They gave you the new logo.
Yeah, that's the new logo right there. And see, I like everything about it. I like the horns. I just don't like the mustache looking piece that comes this way. Cause what is that? That's not fangs. Like, what is that?
I don't know what that is either. But it looks cool. I don't know. Like off rip when you hear about it, right? When you hear about the change, like a lot of people are like, oh, this is because political, because was using it for storming, like Republicans were using it, and that wasn't why they were like that wasn't why they changed it.
Yeah.
Like it just so when they do new story with Daredevil, not Daredevil, Punisher specifically, he's a hard character to make stories for. So when they got a big story arc, they'll do like maybe 24 issues.
Yeah.
And then they'll cut him off for a few years, and they'll let him get some space.
Okay.
Then they'll add a writer, and in between that, they're figuring out what they're gonna do with the character because he's very limited. He's just an angry dude that kills people because his family died. He's one dimension. There's not much you can do with him.
Yeah.
So for him to have a series that's consistent and not be like what the fuck's going on here? Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
You gotta let the character breathe.
Oh, I see what you mean. You have to let it go about. So that's why they do go about it that way.
Yeah. So they did the War Machine arc, and the War Machine arc was great because that was fresh take. You know what I'm saying? And then that was good. Then they piggybacked off it a little bit, let him come out of the suit, do his own thing, and then they ended that arc, and then they let him breathe for a few. Let people like forget about it, and then bring him back.
Yeah, all right. Then retcon some stuff.
So in between that, all that political shit was happening with storming the Capitol and all, Black Lives Matter, all this, racism, and everybody started using the skull for whatever. So when that came out, people got the idea like, oh, this has to do with racism. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they were already planning that before all that shit.
Right. Exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So that's why, and it's so crazy because even people in the comic book community were like running with that narrative too, and I'm like telling them like, yo, like we should know that. We should already know like what time it is, like why we falling into that, and then I didn't really care for it. I just wanted to know the story, and pretty much the story is this. This is the story, and then I read it and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, like this is kind of cool. So what ended up happening was that the hand from the Daredevil.
Okay. Yeah, I follow.
They saw that Frank Castle was putting in work.
All right.
So they took their best ninjas in like out of their whole organization ever. That ninjas they've been trained, they were children, and then they showed up to Frank's house, and then they were like, "Yo, we gotta kidnap you."
Okay.
And then he killed them. And then they're like, okay, well, this was an invitation, and you passed the test. We want you to join the hand. And then he was like, nah, but I'm gonna kill you, the leader. And then she was like, all right, well, you can kill me, but I have something, so let me present you a gift. And it was his wife. He brought his wife back from the dead. So I remember some dude was like, oh, like that's stupid, like that makes no sense.
Yeah.
And like how they brought back Elektra, she's still alive.
So
like,
how?
So I thought it was by no means. I'm not saying the story's gonna be amazing. I'm not saying it's great, but I do think like you need to give a reason for Frank Castle to join the hand. He's not gonna join the hand for no reason.
Yeah. I see exactly what you mean.
So they bring his wife back. That gives him the motivation. All right, like now I'm gonna join you, and just tell me what you need to do. So he's working with the hand. He got a fucking army of ninjas behind him, and they just telling him who to kill. Like he's not killing. Like I don't know what their intent is. Like I don't know what their end game is. But from the way the story was built, it seems like it's a setup. Like it seems like there's gonna be betrayal. It seems like his kids might come back. Seems like his wife might die. Like it's
interesting.
Spicy.
It sounds interesting. I ain't gonna lie. I always look well, not always. Nowadays, I'm very much looking forward to like Punisher coming to the MCU and learning more about him. Period, because he's one of those people that I always shelved because they wasn't like popular or put in our faces as kids, right? So him, Cyclops, and it was what's his name? This guy right here, Captain America. I used to always look at them when I was young, like, what they do? Like, they not no Batman, right? Like, they not Spider-Man. They not Spider-Man. But as I got older, when Chris Evans did Captain America and all those movies, he skyrocketed to the top of my list. Like, he's in my Mount Rushmore. You feel me? So
the same thing with Iron Man. Like when I was a kid, nobody even acknowledged Iron Iron Man was a thing.
Word.
Like, he was like a D-list character. Like, nobody would pay attention to him. And now he's like the face of Marvel.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man.
No, he was one of those for me too. But for Iron Man, I just really didn't care for Iron Man. Like I was like, oh, that's Iron Man. He seemed cool, but I didn't care for him. The other three that I just named, I actually despised them for no reason though. Like I just didn't know about them and would bash them for no reason my whole upbringing. But now, like that I'm older than a different mindset, I love how Cap is now and everything. I can see like, nah, Cap is one of the realest niggas. So I would definitely love to see, Cyclops, how they do him in the MCU, and Punisher, both of them, and even Blade. I ain't gonna lie, Blade is one of those too.
But Blade is a little rocky because that's a character like you definitely gotta make rated R. Like there's no other way around it.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like there's no ifs, ands from jump. I'm not gonna say from jump because maybe they could do it, but when he first came out, he wasn't really like a rated R character. But he didn't start becoming to Aaron Taylor Johnson.
How you feel about him being Quicksilver? Well, no. How do you feel about Aaron Taylor versus Evan Peters Quicksilver?
Which one was the Fox one?
That's Evan Peters.
Yeah, I like Evan Peters. Evan Peters all the way.
I like Evan. All right, it's mixy because I like as an actor the portrayal. I had really liked Quicksilver Taylor Johnson from Ultron, from the Age of Ultron movie, but I do think that the Fox Studios portrayed their Quicksilver way better than the MCU did. Like his scenes are ridiculous. He has the best fast scenes. Like his fast scenes are ridiculous. Like when he runs. It gives you the perception that you could kind of understand how fast this guy's moving, the way time is slowing down, and he's not pausing time. He's really just running so fast, and you get that.
I like he puts on the music.
Yeah. Oh, and then every time he puts the music, he puts some music that has to do with time. It's amazing. I love it.
I don't know if that's scientifically correct, but I like Aaron Taylor Johnson is good because he's no Evan Peters. There we go. Sorry, I get them confused.
Yeah.
The Fox one, I'm just calling him Fox.
The Fox.
Quicksilver is good because that he's unique. Like he's like a unique version. Like that's their own version, and it works. It works. It's cool. I like how funny and quirky he is. This Quicksilver, like he wasn't really that popping with the. I don't know. He's just too much like. How do I describe it? He's just too stock. Like when they were in the office creating Quicksilver, they was just like, "Yo, let's just make a nigga that look like he could run fast," and then they just
I see what you mean.
And then they just put a stripe. Like, okay, that means he runs fast.
What I did notice also, like storyline, arc-wise, actually, not, like Fox's version, he's connected to Magneto. His arc is Magneto, and his like wanted him to tell him that he's his son, and he's his dad, but he don't know how, right? And so he's with the whole X-Men, so it seems more original. As for MCU's version, they did it in a way that they tied him to Wanda and gave us that story, like more just their origins. That's what it just felt like for me. But it wasn't enough. I didn't get enough of him in the MCU to say, nah, he did it better than the Fox's version.
I just didn't like the look at him. I didn't like the look at him. Maybe you know what? Maybe you're right. Because I like from what I don't really watch too much MCU movies, but from what I've seen from Age of Ultron and everything, he just seemed like a nigga that ran fast. I didn't get really any characterization from him. He didn't have like a major arc.
Yeah, he did it. And it said, like, he wrote, do you think it had anything to do with the actor not wanting to sign a large MCU contract? I didn't know about that. And that says a lot then. That definitely has to be it then.
That might mean that they might use Evan Peters then.
Yeah, going forward then. Definitely, especially with the multiverse. Even though they did us dirty with the whole Ralph Boner thing in WandaVision, but you didn't even get to see it, so you don't know.
I will say with the whole multiverse thing, I don't know, man. I think it's getting a little too out of hand for me.
You know what I also believe, though? I think they're going to, after Doctor Strange, I don't think the multiverse is going to continue in the MCU. I don't think it's going to be a thing, let me say that, going forward. Like, that you have to keep up with what's going on, the multiverse, this is that. I think after they fix the multiverse with Doctor Strange movie, then moving forward, whoever's brought into the MCU, they might just bring people in, do that, and just leave them. maybe, I don't know, but I don't think they're gonna continue it forever because that's too mixy. You're right, it is too mixy.
But what I will say is this: the Illuminati, that might be like that might be a big deal. That like I don't know who's on that council, right? But
Right.
I know from the Illuminati, I know that was like a main that was like a main point in
That whole saga.
yeah. But I don't know. But multiverse is too I always liked the multiverse when it was something that they touched on in the comics because like years and years and years ago, the multiverse was like, yo, we're gonna show you like a quick peek behind the curtain, and that was cool because it was just a peek. And say, oh man, that was cool. And now, like, everybody got a multiverse.
Yeah, that's it. It just
got a multiverse.
yeah, and then like Flash is gonna do the multiverse, right? So it's like, yeah. Then DC did the multiverse also like 2 years ago when they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths. So
they did the not Crisis on TV yeah.
yo, what you feel about? Oh no, sorry, guess. Say what you was gonna say.
No, I'm saying like DC got two multiverses. They got they got the 52 worlds, and then they got the 52 dark multiverses. So they got a light multiverse and a dark multiverse.
You're right. You're right, and it's crazy because you're only supposed to have one multiverse if that's the point of a multiverse, that connecting all of your pockets together. It's crazy.
I think that dark multiverse was kind of cool though. I like that was only the one time where I was like, y'all overdoing it, but this is actually kind of cool. Like it's the evil multiverse where everybody's evil, corrupt, fucked up. You see all the different versions of like the 52 different versions of the fucked up world, and Batman is the most powerful person out of all of them.
Yeah.
But moving on to your next thing.
No, I was just gonna say right here what he mentions right here two things, but quick the argument over which is the new first MCU film. I seen that online, and
I think that's ridiculous.
it is. It is. It's ridiculous, and Iron Man 1 is the first MCU film, and that's it. You cannot.
Now we gotta go back.
Yeah, because at this point, nigga, is Howard the Duck now? That's the one. If y'all want to take.
We gotta go back further. Japanese Spider-Man, because with the multiverse.
No. But I mean, stuff that made appearance in the MCU. They saying like now, whoever makes the appearance in the MCU, if you're from an old saga, now your movie is the original. So it keeps going back and back. So like it happened with Toby. They said Toby now is the. They had the meme where he'll look Cap in the eyes. They do the I'm the captain now. I'm the first MCU person now.
So
right?
Japanese Spider-Man goes to the MCU.
He would have to make an appearance, but besides that, it's like you said, it's ridiculous to even think. No, we know when it started. We know what was that pocket when it started from that room.
That's like fans be talking about some ridiculous shit.
Yeah, I laugh when I go through the comments though, and it's a fun trip though. It's not one of those like it don't get me like hot like like I just be laughing. I'll just be like, yo, look at this.
I like looking at like people that don't know nothing, and I like watching them argue about shit.
Yo, I remember I got into an argument before we close this segment out, cause then but if you got time, we could do a second segment right after this. I just don't want this one to be too long. But to close this one out, I had got into an argument because I'm in the MCU group on Facebook, right? So people just be sharing different news, right, and stuff, their opinions on stuff, questions. So somebody posted their edited version of all three Spider-Man suits from No Way Home, right? And when they did it, it was a nice edit, right? He did his thing. It was great. But my personal opinion, I thought it looked too... And all right, I'm probably paraphrasing here, but my words were, it's cool, but I don't really like it too much. It looks too cluttered and dirty, right? But look, hold on. Honestly speaking, bro, that was... I deadass meant that in the best way. I deadass really didn't mean that it was a bad suit. I wish I had the suit, the pic still, cause I could have just showed y'all. It just looked like too much went on. He could have took some stuff off, or maybe layered it different that it didn't look so cluttered. But it wasn't even with him. He didn't even argue with me. So it had like hundreds of comments on this shit. So I put my little comment in it, and then for 4 days, I'm waking up, going to sleep, and going back and. Because the person is replying that I'm arguing with. So some random person just decides to tell me about myself. But, you know, it's one of those people when they start attacking you personally because they feel like you being a jerk online. But I'm like, yo, it's just an opinion, and I didn't say nothing. I didn't even say this is a horrible like edit or bad pic. I just said I just think it looks too like cluttered and dirty. Like it was a dark pic. It looked like a Batman filter on it. Like it was just like.
It's like a little too dark.
No, that's all I meant. So this person is saying this and that, and I'm like, I just keep replying to him like, yo, bro, you keep like coming at me personally when all I said was this. Like, you must be really like upset just with my comment, or you must really really like his edit. Like, it's okay, but there's mad people here with different opinions. So obviously, I'm not in this alone. Like, it was just mad hilarious that it went on for like 3-4 days though. Like, we would wake up and then he would leave another comment. I'm like, he's still going.
Yeah, no, those nerd groups, like, I can't with them people. Like, sometimes they be making like top 10 lists, like the top 10 best fighters, and then they put Daredevil and Punisher on it, and I'm like,
yeah, they be wildin'. We actually, we did a top 10, not top 10, top 8 fighters bracket tournament.
And then that's when A was like, in the video, like,
yeah, because he wasn't there for that segment.
That got me tight. Not with A, but with that ridiculous list, because like I'm a huge Punisher fan, I'm a huge Daredevil fan.
Yeah.
And there ain't no way in hell that I'm gonna agree with you that I'm gonna be Punisher, because Punisher doesn't know how to fight.
Yeah, that's his thing. Is like you see him with the guns always. Like that's his thing. Like you see him with guns. Like that's like an image of his. Like whether he used other stuff too, but he's a gunman. Like I get what you mean. That should definitely like you have to.
Daredevil got beat up by a black cop, and so I'm like, what are we arguing?
Yeah, those lists be wildin'. Yeah, we could. I'm just gonna close this one out. And then we could do another one. We talk about. I actually want to get your thoughts on Batman, so we could talk about that.
It was the best Batman movie.
Yeah. So
period. Like.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna
I'm not gonna. If you say no, I'm not gonna argue with you because I know I'm right.
I'm not gonna even close this live out. I'm just gonna keep it rolling. But I'm gonna end this segment. I got my other camera rolling, so I'll close this out.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let us know what y'all thought of this IG live segment of Ms.Marvel. We spoke about Punisher, Daredevil, which was the better Quicksilver. And smash that like button like Hawk, subscribe. It's the road to 100. Help us get to 100 subscribers. And then it's the highway to 1,000. We're really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we could get sponsorships and more. So please, subscribe. And until next time, assemble time. It's about that time. Assemble and talk. No cap. It's a civil war. You thinking you worthy? You feeling like door. Smash that like button like Hawk. Yeah.